Hey, now I literally have no idea what I'm going to do with these little things. What that is, I don't know. Well, I want to talk about kids. Maybe I was being a bit playful. Kids, gotta love them. You literally have got to love them. There's no other choice. You can't get rid of them, right? You got to love them. I would describe myself as a reluctant father. I wanted to have kids. I agreed to have kids. I had no idea what I was getting myself into as a parent. Absolutely no idea. If somebody had told me how difficult this job is, and it's not even a job, this being a parent is, I would no way have done it. I think it is one of the hardest things that a human being can do. And we're totally unprepared for it. And that's okay. And it's interesting. We're in the process of introducing in the app Form Score a specific driver of form, an icon for kids. It's a nice little teddy bear to give us a feeling of warmth. Because people have been requesting to be able to tag kids on what is changing their form. And I suspect that more often than not, kids are a negative driver of our form, of our well-being. Okay, and that can be quite controversial, and people don't say this, parents don't say this. My belief is that children drain our reserves, drain our well-being, but it is interspersed with moments of complete and utter joy. Okay, complete and utter joy. Now, if we were to do a set of accounts on this, there is no way they would balance. Because those moments of joy, as beautiful and amazing as they are, I don't think counterbalance for all of the other nonsense, ridiculousness that we have to deal with. And that can come in many, many shapes and sizes, to the point of complete and utter frustration and despair in certain cases. So I'm being brutally honest here. I absolutely love my children. They're amazing. They're amazing little people, complex little bundles of everything, right? But as parents, this can have a really detrimental effect on our well-being. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it can affect our sleep in the early days. Our time is no longer our own. We're always carrying this overriding sense of guilt, like we're not doing enough for our children or we're not doing enough for our jobs, because it doesn't generally all fit, particularly in recent times. There's the stress of actually trying to get children to brush their teeth, get out the door. Where the hell is anything? Where do you keep all of this stuff? My Lord, it is absolutely phenomenal. Right now, my children tend to go from a phase of just completely ignoring me because they don't like what I'm asking them, to needing to be ferried everywhere, to, if you haven't signed up to be a taxi driver yet in your parenthood, you will. All of this stuff, right, can cause stress, it can cause lack of sleep, it can cause lack of time to exercise, it can cause a feeling of guilt if we're practicing self-care because we should be doing stuff for our children. And add in homeschooling, lockdowns, and a complete ball of impossible balancing act that we've got to try and keep up in the air. That's a strange metaphor, isn't it? A complete ball of balancing act that we need to keep up in the air. I don't think that one's going to make many memes, but it's an impossible job, okay? So a few tips on staying well as a parent. One, self-care is not selfish. It's actually essential to being an effective parent. So prioritizing your self-care, whatever that means for you, all of the stuff we've been talking about, getting your exercise in, getting those moments of quiet reflection, taking time for yourself in the day, making sure you've got a social life yourself. This allows us again to be better parents because we've got a bit of perspective, we've got our reserves, our resilience in place to be able to deal with the immense amount of crap that our children throw at us, sometimes actually literally. I'm just trying to remember if I'm speaking from personal experience, and I think I probably am. You never guess what happened. As I was recording that section on kids and how obviously it drains our reserves, I got this big flashing notification on my camera, battery dead. So I thought that was quite ironic as well. I was talking about how we can manage our own well-being in the context of being a parent. And I can't remember exactly what I covered, but things like putting boundaries in place are really important between, when we're parenting, when we're working, making sure that there's demarcation there. Practicing self-care, it's definitely not selfish, I did mention that. But setting a good example, role modeling healthy behaviours to our children, that look, it is okay to prioritise well-being. It is okay that we make mistakes and we apologise for them and we own those mistakes. That we will experience challenges to our mental health and talk about it, create that openness. My children don't know stigma. They know daddy has a mental illness. They know sometimes daddy's in bed because he's not feeling well and his brain's not well. And talk about that, have that sense of openness. Play. Meet your kids on their level. Get down on your haunches, look at what they're looking at, be with them in the moment. We can all be better at this, myself most definitely included, and I'm going to have a separate section on play in a while. And accept that life is imperfect, all right? Accept that we're not going to be able to do everything we used to do. Accept that house, certainly if you live in my house, that's not going to look perfect, okay? Accept all of that, because there is no thing as perfection, and there certainly is no thing as perfection as a parent. And don't beat ourselves up. And here we go again, we're back to it, self-kindness. Be kind to yourself along the way. And look, as much as this is difficult, as much as if I didn't know what I was letting myself in for, would I change it? Absolutely not. It's beautiful chaos, and I am so grateful that I have my children. I'm so grateful what they bring to me, and I'm so grateful that they make me want to be a better person. And I don't always live up to that measure I set for myself, so I'm contradicting myself there. But we're working on it, right? We're working on it. So thank you to my children for being in my life. And I'm sure a lot of parents will feel the same. But it's okay to feel the other stuff too, because it is real. And for the second time, a little bit of battery expired.